what works for me is I just focus on one thing. I put all my time and energy into that, and then if you give something enough time and energy, that thing is just gonna grow.
Now growing up, I just want to say that I want to repay you guys by helping everybody else, the family.
It's okay, Jimmy. You know we love you.
All right, back with another episode here from The Pieces, and we got a special guest tonight. His name is Christian Yang, and he's from Pure Growth. He's got his own company. He's got some clients such as Soda Hot and Cold, Judge Adam Yang, La Delicious Bread, and I'm sure a lot of Hmong people out there know this one. Union Restaurant, right? Unison, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I get it wrong because I don't go there much. But a lot of our younger generation here, everybody knows Unison. So
Yeah.
great work, Christian. I see a lot of things you do. I follow you on social
brother.
media too, bro.
Thank you,
And like what you have going on is like a lot of like mindset stuff. So when we brought you on and you were talking about like, we were just talking about before the pod was the pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what our mission and goal is to like brings everybody's knowledge together, our perspectives, and kind of learn from that and grow from that.
Yeah.
So maybe you could kind of touch up a little bit of your background story so everybody kind of knows who you are, where you kind of came from.
Yeah.
So maybe touch up a little bit. I know if we rewind it back a little bit, everybody starts at that high school age, y'all.
Yeah.
Everybody can relate back to that high school age.
For sure.
Yeah. Tell us where you went to school and everything.
I might even go back a little bit further.
Yeah,
'cause,
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
You know how like everybody's always asks like kids like, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? So
yeah.
for me, if I'm thinking like back like when I was like 10, 11 years old, people would ask me that, and my answer was like, I just want to own a business. So I already kind of knew back then. I don't know why or how, but I just knew like I wanted to own a business. So I was like, what do you want to do with that business? I'm like, I don't know yet. I just know I want to own a business.
Any kind of business.
Yeah. And they're like, why? And I'm like, well, I just know like that's how I'm gonna make an impact. And I feel like a lot of businesses make impact. And then growing up, I mean, I didn't have like too many entrepreneurial opportunities, or I didn't seek it either. I just kind of, because growing up, I wasn't really taught to really think for myself too much. It was more like, and I think a lot of Hmong people can probably agree with that. It's just like go to school, get your education, go to traditional route, go to college, and get a job, right? And you just want to please your parents, especially as a Hmong kid. Like you just obey your parents basically, right? Otherwise you're a bad kid. So that was me, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do whatever they want me to do. And then I mean, they did a great job, but I'm just saying, like, that's kind of how it is. And then, I get out of college. I might get out of high school, go to college, and then give a little background on my childhood. My parents were pretty well off. They had their own business and stuff like that, home health care and stuff. That went away, and that was around the time when like the 2008 crash was happening, right? And then I graduated 2011 high school. I jump into college, and then I go to St. Cloud State. At that time, like, we didn't have a lot of money, and so I had to like really fend for myself. And so, but before that, it was like everything was kind of given to me. And then when I got to college, it was like a mindset switch. I was like, damn, I don't know where money's gonna come from. I don't know what's gonna happen anymore. And I was like, damn, all right, well, I gotta go work, and I gotta get 2 jobs, and I gotta pay my rent, and I gotta pay my tuition, and I gotta pay for my car and all that type of stuff, right? Yeah. So then my mindset just switched, and then I just started working a ton. I started going to like a bunch of job fairs and just doing a lot of public speaking in college. I don't know if you want me to get this detail, but like, so I had a business management major, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sucked at school.
Yeah.
So then I like, my GPA was like low, like 2.5 ish.
Yeah.
think it was lower than that. You had to get a 2.5 to get into the major. I couldn't even get into the major. So I had to go take communication classes, and I love those communication classes. So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise.
Kind of like a major switch
Yeah,
in
yeah.
education, right?
Everybody switches majors, right?
Yeah.
But I switched because it was the easier route, but I also liked it a lot. And it also challenged me a lot because I was really introverted. Still am, but like I'm a little bit better now. But back then, like those classes, they made me talk in groups. They made me go to job fairs for points. They made me do public speaking and all that type of stuff. So it challenged me in a way that I need to be challenged as like a really quiet kid. Then I learned how to like talk in front of people. I learned how to approach people and not be scared too much about those type of things. Then I graduated, and then I worked at Medica, which is a big health insurance company, as like a customer service sales rep. Did that for 8 months, hated it. So I left, and then I didn't have no plan, and then I just kind of jumped into pure growth. I didn't really know what I was going to do. Probably had like 1 or 2 months where I just kind of sat on, like, what was I going to do? And then I started pure growth, and then pure growth media from there.
What year was that?
2017. Graduate 2016, 2017 I started like February. So I quit my job November. December, January, I was trying to figure out what to do. February 2017 I started pure growth. So it's been about 6 years, right? And then I just saw, like, you know, when you walk on University Avenue, Frogtown, you see all these mom and pop shops. I'm like, they're never gonna learn how to do social media. Even if they wanted to, they don't got the time to, and they're not gonna put the time in to do it. So I was like, let me just do that. And then that was like the peak of like social media, like Facebook and stuff was all out there, right? But no one was really using it to like promote their business yet. And so I got into that. I just did a bunch of free work. I worked for like a lot of nonprofits for free, and then I kind of gained like some case studies, right? Then I started working with Soda Hot and Cold, which was like one of the first rolled ice cream places out here in Minnesota. And then we blew them up as far as like, you know, their grand opening had max capacity. They killed it for a long while before they went out of business, but they did a good job for the most part. And then we started getting other clients. So we started working with like a bunch of other people. And then so we've been doing that for a while, but that's kind of the gist of where Pure Growth started. I don't know if you want me to keep going. I'm talking a lot, but
Oh,
It's good. I mean, once you start throwing this out, then we just have more details we can kind of dig into, you know.
Feel free to interrupt me too. Stop me if I'm going too fast.
But all of this thing, from what I got from that was a lot of like mindset change, right? A lot of growing, a lot of things that you learn throughout the way here to get where you are now. So we'll ask some more questions and get into more details, so all the audience gets the gist of like, man, what's Christian all about and what is he doing right now? So let's just talk a little bit about Pure Growth so everybody's get a gist of like what you're bringing onto the table, right? So Pure Growth, you're trying to like, once a business is out there, right, you reach out to them or they'll reach out to you, you'll connect, and then you'll try to grow their business or grow their brand and their it's like a marketing strategy, right? Where you're trying to bring people to them or bring them to the people, right? Connecting them too, right?
Yeah. So we're Pure Growth Media is a digital marketing agency. You know, if you talk about what we are, we're a digital marketing agency, right? So we can do everything from running your paid media, that's our best skill, right? And then we can do the creative side, which is, you know, anything video, graphic design, you know, website development, all that type of stuff. And then we also talk about the strategy, like you just said, right? So what is the messaging? Who are we trying to get to? You know, what type of audience are we trying to get to? What message do we want to send out there from that brand, and how do we position that brand in the right ways? And so there's a lot more that goes into it, but that's kind of what we're about. And we really enjoy the storytelling part. That's what we love the most, because we know like that's what people can resonate with. So like when we worked with Soda or La Delicious Bread or like these other brands, it's like, okay, what's the story here? You know, it's like, and then you add in like what they do, right? It's not just always about what. It's like, what's the story behind it? How can we add the what into that too? And how can people resonate and be intrigued, right? And so we're really good at, or that's what we really focus on, just the story part.
How big's your team right now, Christian? Then is it just you, or you got like a whole bunch of like students with you or interns with you? How big is this company here?
So this year we just started hiring people. We are at 5 people right now. So I have me, I have my creative team, and then I have my social media management team.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where, you know, we need the most help at right now. We have some biz development guys too, basically sales, but business development is a term that we use. And so they just kind of help me on a day-to-day basis run stuff.
Yeah.
So you talk a lot about like growing a business.
Yeah.
You go out there and research on the business, like, okay, how am I gonna help them grow too?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
okay.
Yep. So I've worked in a lot of different industries.
Okay.
So like to give you guys like a whole background, Pure Growth Media, we started back in 2017, right?
Mhm.
But in between that was a lot of struggle, which was like I didn't make any money sometimes, so I had to go work for other agencies too.
Mhm.
So I worked at some local agencies here in Minnesota that do some of the same stuff that we do, and I worked at some out of state remotely, and then some I worked at an agency out in New York too. But like because I worked at all these agencies, I have experience in all these different industries. So I worked for casinos, real estate brokerages, retail locations, big brands, e-commerce brands. So and like even like some pet food stuff. So like it's all over the place. But the biggest thing to answer your question basically is you go in there, you try to figure out who their audience is, what they care about, and then you create stuff around that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christian, so a little bit about Pure Growth already. Let's talk about how did you get into what you really got into, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because out of college, you were like, okay, more towards this communication, all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know everything's a building block of skills that leads up to who you are now.
Mm-hmm.
When did you get into like, okay, marketing's my thing, and I'm gonna grow a business from it?
So once I left that job at Medica, right? Then I just saw it wasn't a passion thing yet. It was more like there's just a need here. And so I just saw in our community at the time, there was just a need for our Hmong businesses to be on social media and to market their businesses. So it was just an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then I gained my passion from seeing these businesses grow from the work that we did.
Yeah.
Because I always tell everybody, like, I don't care about, like, getting the biggest contract. I care about what impact am I making on that person's business.
Yeah.
When I can see like a mom and pop shop or like a grandma and grandpa that just open up their store and like they don't know how they're gonna get customers, but then we come in and we can help them like blow up their business. That's what I love the most. And so I got into it by just kind of like seeing what's happening at the time, seeing the opportunity, and then just learning and Googling and YouTubing everything that I could, and then just applying it every day. That was my teacher, Google and YouTube. So I just applied it every day, and that's why I had all those free opportunities, right? I tell everybody go work for free because then you get to learn on someone else's dime, right? And then you don't have to put your own money up front. Because let's say like a kid wants to start marketing agency or whatever, right? And then they start their own e-commerce store as like a test or whatever like that. That's their own money they have to spend to build that. But if you go work for free for somebody else, then those people are spending. You can use their dollars and you can use their products to go out and test, and then you don't have to take anything out of your pockets to test out. So I'm like, go learn on someone else's dime, or like go get like an entry-level job at an agency and then go learn from them, see how they do stuff, right? You can see the processes, you can see what they do on a day-to-day basis, and then you can go start your own and apply all that later. So like I mean, to get back to your question though, it's kind of just like just seeing the opportunity and then just going after it after that.
Man, that's great. Yeah. When was that first block you jumped over and then you landed on it and be like, oh, I can do this now? When was that first one? Because I know there's always that first one. You were like, all right, I got this now. I can do some more of this. Just like multiplying it now after that, right?
I would say that our first paying client. So I started back in February. I didn't get paid till 6 months in, and then that Soda Hot and Cold was that rolled ice cream place. And then once they gave us a budget, not that big of a budget, but a simple budget, right? And then we blew that up, like max capacity. I had like some Vikings player come and help promote. I had like some of the Timberwolves dance team come out. When I see all of that come into fruition, and that has like some local influencers, like foodie influencers come and help promote too. I was like, damn, this is all real, right? And I'm like, these guys are killing it. They're gonna keep killing it for a while, you know. And then I was just like, damn, I can do this now, right? And these are real results that I can go out and like pitch other people with, right? So that was the first one. I was like, damn, this is all for real. So,
That was square one then, huh? Square one was Soda Hot and Cold then.
Yeah.
I know you got to be doing something right now too. Is there like some clients you could fill us in that you're kind of doing something right now to kind of help them kind of grow right now? Because I know there's a lot of brands out there that you've been sharing a lot too that you're helping to grow right now. Can you give us an example of one and how you're kind of helping them launch a little bit? Because it takes effort from them too, and it takes you going in and plugging in ideas to help them launch.
I mean, so we got a couple clients on our that we work with right now. Little Luxury Nail Salon or Nail Lounge. They are pretty big and well known. They're probably the most well known here locally. I know all the women probably listening probably have heard of that. So we're helping them grow their e-commerce side of stuff. Like they do good indoors, but like they're trying to sell more of the products. And so in the past, in my other positions, I've sold like, $4 million worth of revenue for my clients all combined. And so we're trying to, implement all that stuff into their e-commerce store. And then we're working with Unison. So right now they're gearing up for J4, promoting those events, doing ticket sales for that. And then working with HAP. So we're doing a lot of stuff there with just because everybody kind of knows HAP, but they don't really know HAP. And so we're just trying to share that story with the community. They're doing a lot of great things there. And so we just want to share that. Like they're employing a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't get employed in like other areas and helping them grow their skill sets. And so we're trying to share that out there so people can, utilize them because they're a resource. And the Hmong community needs to learn more about how HAP can have the impact or how HAP has impacted the community and what they're doing now. So those are three big ones. Right.
That's dope.
Yeah.
The work you put in, and I've seen that. I'm like, man. So do you work with all your clients like simultaneously? Like you're juggling all of these balls at the same time, or you're like working with one and then hopping to the next one, or it's like all in one?
All at the same time, man.
Wow.
All at the same time.
Your calendar must be like boom, 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 like this,
oh,
right?
Man, it's crazy. Right now we're trying to hire more people because I'm doing a lot of the client work, which is fine, but it's like, there's like some small stuff that I shouldn't have to do, or that I could be spending my time doing other things while someone else could do those things, right? Like there's stuff that anybody can learn, right? So it's like I shouldn't have to do those things anymore. I should be, thinking about strategy, thinking about growing the business, teaching the team, training them more, right? And so I mean it's a everyday struggle, but that's part of the journey. Those are pieces.
That's right. That's right. So how did you get into all this then? Did you find like a mentor and then get into it, or was it like just all YouTube University?
Yep. Nobody. Well, the thing is, like, nobody in our community does this stuff or did this stuff. Now some people pop up and now they're doing some stuff.
So what about now? Are you accepting applications for apprentices?
It's tough because I would love to, and I'm always about training. I mean, like inspiring other people, but like and helping them and giving them tips and stuff like that. But like. The hard part is, as we just talked about, like my schedule's crazy right now, so I can't pour into an apprentice or an intern or someone new that much. Like right now, I need people around me that can actually have an impact on the business rather than like me trying to teach them stuff, showing them the ropes, because that takes a lot of my time, right? Potentially I'll get there. Okay. But right now, we're focusing on adding people that can help grow. And help impact the business.
So let's do it right now then. Who you looking for? Like you're looking for like some content creators, or you looking for like the graphic designers, or who you looking for then right now?
About everything. So right now we have videographer, graphic designer, social media manager. Then there's me who does kind of a little bit of everything. So right now I'm looking for an assistant. So but I need someone that can come in and is really organized and very detailed. And very adaptable, kind of like an extension of myself, and can help like delegate tasks, right? So that's number one on my list. And then we're looking for support for design and videographer because they're bombarded with work all the time, and so just trying to find another one of them to be able to help out, and fulfill clients. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah,
that's great. So if anybody is looking to reach out to you,
send those resumes. It's tough out here.
Send them all in, man. Christian, look through them all. I mean, you're very adaptable and real approachable too. And so even when I hit you up on social media too, it's like he's very replyable, right? It's like that's one thing about business too. Like, you got to reply to people. You got to
100%.
react with others again, too. It's like,
Yeah.
so if you guys reach out to Christian, I'm pretty sure he's going to hit you back. If it's
Yeah.
not within the day, the next day, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Yep.
So you were talking a lot about like working for free and getting that knowledge.
Yeah.
How did you balance all that with bills and other stuff and still work for free and
Great
balance your
question.
life?
Great question. So, when I left my job, I had a little bit of a runway, but not a lot. So, paid some of my bills, right? But thankfully, I lived with my parents at the time, so I didn't have to pay rent. I was only like 23, 24, so I didn't have to pay rent then. And then it was like my first year out, so I didn't have to pay student loans yet. So I got lucky in that part. But then I would do like some odd jobs. Like sometimes I even worked at Soda Hot and Cold rolling ice cream, helping him out. And then like I would sell a lot of stuff. So like I sold my PS4, I sold my TV, I sold like, you know, stuff around the house to just pay some bills. Just kind of hustling in that regard outside of the other stuff. And then it got to a point, like I was telling you guys earlier, it got to a point where I had to go get another job. So I worked at a different agency. So, you know, I would take a salary there and then still do pure growth on the side, which was tough. But, you know, tough pill to swallow because you're like, damn, I got to go back to work. But it's like, it's part of your journey.
Right.
It's part of like just understanding like, all right, this is what needs to happen. And it's kind of like, at the end of the day, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, low key, because like, as I was talking about my communication major, right? That was a blessing in disguise. I wasn't planning on that. But then when I got these jobs at these agencies, it's like, okay, they kind of give me the blueprint a little bit because it's like, okay, this is how this agency runs. This is how they talk to their clients. This is how they report results. This is how they set up, you know, their campaigns and think about their campaigns and brainstorm. And this is the processes they have. And then now I'm just like, oh, I remember this. I remember how they did this. I remember they did this. And that worked well. So I'm going to apply that here, you know? So, yeah.
I guess all those jobs do help, you know.
Yeah,
Jumping there and there and just grasping all you can.
Yeah. It's part of your journey.
Yeah.
Like, man, like a lot of people, like they're like, man, I hate the position that I'm in, but sometimes you just gotta enjoy it. You just gotta understand, like, this is just part of it, you know, and just understand, like, you're in this position for a reason, and these are just the steps you gotta take, and then you're learning something here. You can learn something from everywhere, you know, that you're at, you know, or any position that you're in, any job that you're in, you know. There's a reason why that place can offer you a job because they did something right. So, like, what are they doing right? And how can you apply that to what you want to do, you know?
Right. Because I definitely take opportunities, too. I jump everywhere in jobs.
Yeah.
So I just try to apply what I can, whatever I can, you know. It's just I feel where you're coming from, too, and it's definitely something that you just got to attain.
Yeah.
Whatever you can.
Well, I think it's also like, yes, you may come up on some random jobs, but it's also like be strategic at what jobs you go to too. Like if you want to learn about something, like go work for that person for a little bit. You know, and go work for that. Like let's say you want to open your own auto shop, go work at an auto shop and see how they do stuff, or their own detail place. Like go work at that detail place, see how they run stuff, see how they do it. They'll sometimes even pay for your training, you know, and then later on down the line you can go out and do your own. Everybody wants things fast, but it's like there's steps.
Yeah.
Right. I hope all the young guys are listening because I wish that was the advice we really listened to or heard of. Like that knowledge when we were in high school and when we got out of high school. It's like everything so fast. Because especially when you're young, it's like, I want to get rich like right now. And they don't realize that it takes much longer than that to get where you really need to get to, you know?
Something about when we were young, you just want the job to get the money.
You
know, but it's like weren't really paying attention to like all the knowledge and skills that you're learning too, and it's like
I mean, that's great that you bring that up because it's like, you know, everybody like pictures like the end result, right? But if you listen to like anybody that's like successful, they're like the journey is what you should be focused on. Like, listen to Kobe and those guys, it's all about the journey, right? The journey's a destination, right? So like your habits on a daily basis, that's what's gonna build you to be able to become what you need to become, right? A lot of people miss that step. They're just like, I want to be at the end already. It's like,
so what are your daily tasks and routine to building your skills and knowledge?
Well, for me, so my daily schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I wake up at 6:30, hit the gym right away. We'll do that for about an hour, hour and a half. I come back, get ready for the day, coffee, breakfast, and then after that, it's like 9 o'clock, and then I'll jump into work and I check my emails, see what's on my schedule for the day,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of go through the daily basis. My week starts on Sunday evening. That's when I plan out my whole week. So like my whole
Okay.
week is kind of planned out Sunday evening. So then like Monday, I'm going now. Like I just have stuff that's going on my calendar every day, right? And so I just like task after task, meeting after meeting, and then same routine every day after that. So it's like 9 to like maybe 3, and I'll go for a walk at 3,
Yeah.
come back, have dinner. This is like 4 or 5 o'clock now, right? And I'll kind of chill out for a bit, maybe like an hour, and then I'll just start working again from like 7 to like 9, 10, then just go to sleep.
Man,
Yeah.
what a routine. I think routine is really key too.
It
but
is it's key.
One thing I really just learned recently from a lot of the podcasts I listen to is routine gets us stuck too, though. You
Does.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you listen to what's his name now? The guy that's talking about AI a lot right now. The guy who just came up acquisitions.com. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Hormozy, Alex Hormozy.
Yeah, Hormozy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
he's
guy,
the one
man.
that was talking a little about it too.
Yeah.
And because routine is good, but when you get into routine, you block a
100%.
lot of other things,
100%.
and that allows you to grow too.
Yeah.
And I know I'm struggling a lot with that right now because I have kids. I have 5 kids,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a thing where if you don't allow your routine to kind of shape itself too,
Yeah.
then you're just locked in and loaded
Yeah.
on this one
Yeah.
aisle that you gotta just
Yep.
all the time,
Yep.
and all the time again.
I agree.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think it's routine is good too, but just advice out there is that you kind of let yourself grow too, and let that
Yeah.
space to kind of routine to kind of
What
shape
about the
itself
routine to grow when you were learning on
Mm.
YouTube University?
Well, a couple of things. I want to touch on his point real quick.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great point because
Yeah.
when people can get burnt out when they're on
Yeah.
the routine so much, and then
Because I feel like we were always lost
yeah.
at that time when you're
Yeah.
trying to find, I'm trying to find routine, but it's
Yeah.
like, what are the questions do I need to ask YouTube? Like, these are the right questions
Mhm.
to ask to get the right answers, you know?
Yep. So people get burnt out when they have routine and they do it too much. I would say feel free to break it. Like have some time to yourself, or have some time to chill with the fam, whatever.
Yeah.
Like take some days off. Like we need a refresher sometimes. Everybody's gonna have their bad days, so like
Yeah.
don't beat yourself up on those things. If you don't get your routine done, that's fine. Like just know that you pick back up later, or if you need to adjust your routine so you feel better about yourself, then great.
Yeah.
But as far as like when I was starting out, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're asking.
Yeah,
Like, what did I
right.
look up and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
It's just about like, okay, what do I need to learn, right? Like for example, we saw a lot of growth this past year of pure growth because I focused a lot on learning how to sell. Before that, it was just about like, I'm just gonna market myself, I'm just gonna post content, I'm just gonna do this and that, which is great too. But it's like you also have to close the deal. You also have to know how to close the deal, and you have to know what to say when you're closing the deal, right? And so I just studied a ton. So I was like, okay, like what are the top books out there? What are the top, like what are other people watching, and then or reading, right? What are the top people reading, and then what are those top books, and what are the books on Amazon that have the best reviews, right? Which ones are fluff, and which one are actually like gonna teach me stuff? Because there's a lot of books that have like a lot of good reviews and all that stuff, but a lot of them they just talk about like random stuff, right? So just knowing like which ones are gonna actually give me actual like tactical stuff to apply, and then the next one is also figuring out like who has already done what you want to do, and what do they do to be able to get to where they want to go, right? So like for example, when I was growing my social media agency, I watched a lot of Gary Vee because he has a social media agency. So it's like I'm not just listening to like his mindset stuff, which helped me a ton, but like also how is he creating a team? How is he selling? He has a lot of videos on like his meetings and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, how is he pitching? What does he start with? He always talks about providing the most value to the other person, making sure they understand that they're getting the most value. So in my pitches, I'm like, yo, like this, we got this low price. You're gonna get all this. You're gonna have to hire a whole marketing team. You just have to hire us. You get all of that. most value, right? And so it's learning from those type of people that have already done it. And then like I'll listen to Alex Hormozi, how he built his stuff, how does he apply stuff, who's the best salespeople, how, and then also who do I want to be like, right? Like Alex Hormozi, Gary Vee, those type of guys, like they have the persona that I kind of want to give off too. And so it's like, how do I incorporate that into me? It's just taking all those pieces from those pieces, right?
Yeah.
From those pieces, and then adding it into, if it fits with you, then yeah. So that's kind of, it's kind of like, hopefully that helps. Hopefully that was too much all over the place.
That was
but
good.
yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking a lot about like driving and focusing, and how did you keep the drive alive? You know, every day sometimes you feel like, man, is it gonna work, or is it even worth it, or it's like how do you overcome that?
Man, that's a tough one. The reason I say it's tough is because
we feel like sometimes we just want to give up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, yep. That's why. Because like, there's been a lot of points where I've been like that, and I've given up on some projects. Like there's like probably like 5 or 6 businesses that I started to, and I give up on all those. But
if you don't mind telling us what kind of business.
Of course. So I started Pre-Grow first, right? But I would say that, like I was telling you guys earlier, I was the most passionate about it. I was like, man, I want to, and also like you see all these other shiny objects, right? Such as like other businesses, for example, and you're just like, I want to try that. I want to try this. I want to try that, right? So I had Pure Growth, and then I started a clothing line business because I was like, I can make some fast cash off that. I know how to market. I know how to like run ads, right? So I started a clothing line business. That failed because that took a lot of cash flow, and at the time I didn't have cash flow, right, to run ads or for inventory. So I quit that, and then I started I can't remember which ones I started. So I started a media company, but that one you don't make any money until you start getting some advertisers, right? And so I was like, and we were doing a great job, but the only thing is I didn't have any cash flow. So I was like, and I was working 9 to 5 at the time, so I was like, do I do Pure Growth? Do I do the media company? And I was like, let me just keep Pure Growth and keep my day job. So I couldn't do that. And then candle business. I started a candle business. We did well right off the bat, but then some other things happened in life, and so I wasn't able to push it as hard. And then what is it? I also had a canvas business. So like, you know, like canvases, like paintings you could put on your walls and stuff.
Right.
Okay.
So I was drop shipping that.
So one question, why candle?
Well, so my friend, my friend, he had a candle manufacturing business. So like some of his stuff were like in some big retailers, and so I was like, oh, just give me some and let me just brand it my own.
Okay.
So I mean, it popped off for a little bit for me. Like the first month, I made like $2,000, and I sold out on all my candles, and I reordered, but then I didn't have enough time to push it all because I was at my day job, and then I had, at the time I was in a relationship. Y'all know how that goes.
Yeah.
And then you know, I had Pure Growth too at the time, so it's like doing too many things. So what I figured out about myself is that I can't balance too many things at once. Like I'm like a really like just focus. If I'm focused on one thing, I can do a good job. If I'm focused on too many things, I can't do it.
Right.
I was like self-aware about that. I figured that out after a while. So I was just like, I'm just gonna do Pure Growth. I'm gonna grow that until it can like sustain itself, and I'm gonna do the next thing. So that's where I'm at right now.
You think some people just balance too much on too many businesses? That's why it's not growing?
Yeah, for sure. Because you think about it, you only got 24 hours in a day.
Yeah. So
like, how do you spend all your time on something? How do you actually grow to an exceptional level? You know, and to me, it's like, what works for me is I just focus on one thing. I put all my time and energy into that, and then, you know, if you give something enough time and energy, that thing is just gonna grow, right?
Right.
But if you're kind of spread out all over the place, like an hour here, you know, throughout the week, then it's like, you know, is that thing actually getting the attention that it needs to actually reach its potential? Probably not. For some people, they're good at multitasking, so that might work for them, and they might need that.
Right.
I just know for me, I can't do that.
I think I can multitask too. I think I gotta focus on one thing.
I don't want to be stereotypical, but girls are better at multitasking than guys.
I agree.
Guys. It's harder for guys to multitask.
That's why they only give us one task.
Exactly.
So, future, you got Pure Growth. What business do you have next?
I don't know if I could tell, but I'm just kidding. Nah. Well, for me, kind of my game plan is we're gonna grow Pure Growth Media, right? We're gonna grow that to a pretty good level where it can kind of sustain itself, can make some good cash, right? Have a good team there, and that can market anything. And then we're gonna start some other stuff. I really want to have a media company. Media company meaning like, like Complex. You guys know what Complex is? Complex and like Vice and those type of places. Like I want to create something like that.
Okay.
That can just share news and create content and create funny content, create inspirational content, like all that type of stuff, right? I want to have a media company like that, and so that's probably a play that I might have. And then with the media company, you can do a lot of stuff. You can have like your own clothing line. You can have a bunch of other stuff through it, right? So those are some things that I want to be able to do. And then in the future, I want to be able to invest into other businesses like Shark Tank.
Okay.
And like Alex Hormozy, like he has acquisition.com. He does investing into other businesses. Though all that stuff, like I say, it could all change later. Like I may not want to do that anymore, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like that's kind of where I think I'm gonna go. That's where I'm gonna go.
So Shark Tank right now, are you planning to invest in other people right now too?
Me?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm not there yet, man. Yeah, and I'm not gonna be able to give the attention they need yet either. So
I think you need to make a show on Shark Tank.
Sure, maybe. At H&D 2019, we were shooting videos for them, like recapping the event, but they had like a Shark Tank pitch there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Johnny was just talking a little bit about the future. I know you guys had an event that was gonna take place on June 10th, right? Which is already the past. But fill us in a little bit about it's called the BrandVault Summit, right? So you guys have one you guys kind of push it out a bit more, right? Yep. Can you throw us a little pitch about that?
Yep. So BrandVault Summit. That me and my guy Bert Lee, check him out, Bert Lee Speaks. Me and him wanted to throw an event because we just want to get back to community, and we want to be able to have the community, entrepreneur or not, someone that wants to be an entrepreneur. We just want them to be able to come to the event and learn from people that have grown brands and have grown personal brands for other people. And help them be able to navigate kind of the digital world right now, or just marketing your business in general. A lot of us come from the digital background, but some are just, just marketing in general. And so we know marketing and advertising can be some of the hardest stuff to be able to learn. And there's not a lot of people in our community that know how to do that the right ways. And so we gathered people that have done that in the right ways for a lot of other people and other brands. Yeah. So we got Bert. He's great at what he does. He's a great speaker, but also he's great at branding. And then we have Nini. She's great at creating content. And then we have Elizabeth, who's great at helping out personal brands, helping out CEOs. She works with top-level CEOs and stuff like that, too. And so, I definitely would tell everybody go pick all their brains. And I'm going to come in with all my experience, but definitely in the advertising world, where I can help people be able to learn how to advertise the products, the brands, and all that type of stuff, and how to create a good story around that. And so that's the vision with BrandVault, is so that everybody can come in. Y'all can get every piece of the pie as far as marketing and advertising. Yeah. And y'all can also network with each other, too. Networking is huge. I always tell everybody, like, that's the biggest thing. And business networking is the biggest thing that's going to help you be able to get to the next level. And so, yeah, I'm excited for BrandVault. We're going to be coming to you guys in September, so make sure to look out for that.
I think the pieces will be there too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Man. Yeah, and I'll list the details under the video here too, but I'll just add one thing before we go on to the next question here. Yeah, is like go try it. You never know until you go and do it. You might find your niche. You might be like, oh man, this might be for me. Yeah, I mean because we're here and then we just be like, oh, we're gonna be comfortable. We don't go do it, and then all of a sudden we just slack off and one thing leads to the next. We just keep sitting on like a little boat that just floats here and does nothing. But go out there, go try, explore it. You might not know, it might be your thing. 100%. All of a sudden you'll be like, man, I'm a marketing dude now. You go over there and they might be so influential to be like, this is my thing now. But let's lead to the last question of the pod here. And I know a lot of people that come through, they add one thing in here, or that's why we're called the pieces, right? Everybody's got one thing that they could provide for each other. And hopefully Christian will leave with one last comment or advice or something that really helps propel him, or something that he could give back to the community, and maybe you guys could get something. But if you guys don't, reach out to Christian with any of you guys' questions or anything, because I know I'm going to list his contacts below, and he's going to leave one last piece here. Thank you again, Christian, for coming.
Thanks for having me, man.
Drop
Thanks, brother.
Drop your gems on the show.
Well, I think you said one piece of advice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is, especially for our community, I think the biggest thing is go out and learn a skill. Go out and learn a skill, whatever that might be, whether that's HVAC, marketing, whether that's learning how to do a podcast, being an audio expert, video expert. Go out and learn a skill and be the best at it, and then monetize that. So I think that's the biggest thing that we all have to figure out, because a lot of us, we get out of traditional schooling, traditional education, and we just stop learning. And a lot of the things in traditional education, you're not going to learn how to be skillful. You're not going to learn how to be the best at one skill. And so that's going to be on you to be able to go out and learn. And right now we have all the resources possible with YouTube, Google, ChatGPT, TikTok, all those places. Like, those are all educational resources for you. Like, you gotta be curious. You got to keep learning. And I think a lot of people stop doing that after a little while. And so my biggest thing is, go out and learn a skill, go out and be skillful, be a master at it, perfect it, monetize that thing, and build something big for yourself, or go help someone else build something big. But yeah, that's what I want to leave with people, because, we only get one chance at this thing.
For sure.
Make the most of it.
Thanks, brother. That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why they say YOLO, right?
YOLO.
Thank you again, Christian.
Yes,
Thank you for
sir,
coming to
brother.
the show, man.
All
I
right,
really
brother.
enjoy this.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Boss.
If y'all enjoy this too, give us a comment, like, and y'all blow this up. We'll have another session with Christian, man.
Yes, sir.
And I promise y'all it'll be better than this one.
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
yeah, like us up.
All right. Thank you all.
See you
Yep.
guys.